Hi, it's Hazel, and welcome to my channel, Hazel and Naka Design. It is art journal time, yay! I have assembled in front of me. Oh, and you know what? You should pause and go get your stuff, and we can interact while I work on a spread in my book, and you can work on a spread in your book, and we will while away the hours. So I have an altered book. I've shown you this in the past. I won't belabor it. I've just opened to a new page. It does not have any preparation done to it other than this masking tape on the gutter, and I've explained that in previous videos, so I won't repeat that. My Yoo-Hoo glue stick, my tear ruler, and I did, of course, did this all by myself. A pair of scissors in case I need them. Typically don't like straight lines, but who knows. Now, beside me and out of sight is a purchase that I made. Showed this in a, maybe you've seen it. Yeah, I think you've seen it. These are chalks. Never used chalks before. This was a live sale purchase. And, oh, I also have my pouch of Posca pens and gel pens beside me. I frankly don't hold out much hope that I'll get to that point of needing them, but you never know. And wonder of wonders, like I'm really lucky in that when we did our edition, I think it's about 5 years ago now, I claimed half of the basement addition for studio space, and I outfitted it, furnished it with hand-me-downs and thrift store purchases and things like that. I had a lot of my own stuff. I had supplies and all sorts of things. Anyway, it has, since I've started, doing videos and working up here on the main floor, it's not an area I go to very much and it became a bit of a dumping ground. I'll try to make this a short story. I was down there the other day and got carried away. I thought, well, I'm just going to, pick up a couple of things. And, like 4 or perhaps 5 hours later, I didn't really look at when I started, I finally, resurfaced. And one of the things that I knew it was there, I had passed it around for years, was a canvas book bag full of these kinds of envelopes. So I've just randomly pulled out 3. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more of these. And they have been labeled by colors. So, believe it or not, long before I knew what junk journaling was, I was an image collector. So, to make some sense of this, and again, without, I just defaulted to what made sense for me, which was color groups, I put these, calendar pictures, and I haven't looked at these for years. And maybe if we found a calendar, okay, 2006. Let's see if we can find a calendar page. 2006, like a long time. I haven't looked at this. Now, yellow isn't really my favorite color, so maybe let's put yellow back in its. So what I wanted to do, number 1, is see what did Hazel care about and what did she save back in the day. And it also seems like it's a huge resource that I haven't been using. So my thought was that I would just randomly pick some images and do a spread with them. So again, I said, you know, it hasn't been prepped. Whoops, hasn't been prepped in any way. Like there's no gesso or anything on there. So I will be covering the page with images. Now, okay, orange. Well, why don't I just, this is quite a skinny one. Why don't I pick pink also and see what, and of course I can, whoops. These envelopes are so big. They are, well, almost 12 inches wide by, well, a little more than 12 inches long. So obviously they take up a lot of space, so that's why everything is kind of out of your sight, because there wouldn't be room for me. So let's just have a quick look. And I hope, let's just pretend that I'm not going to dither and think too long and hard about what decisions to make. 2000, holy cow. 1995, 2004. Ay. Anyway, I don't want to do that. I just want to slap some stuff down. No, I don't. This almost looks like it's upside down. Oh, yeah, that looks more orangey. And again, you can see that as a farm family, we have a lot of farm type imagery here. Or even say fall. That could have been more yellow, but okay, why don't I just, you know what would even be more random and more challenging perhaps? I will just start gluing stuff down. I'm putting the papers, the piles, boy, and if this falls, we're in trouble. I'm in trouble. I'm going to just start laying stuff down. So I guess it looks like it's going to be an orange base. And I have my little glue book here too. Okay, so grab the first thing. Whoopsie. Spare glue stick. I'm like a Boy Scout. I'm ready for anything. And to maybe just play a bit with abstraction. I should get this garbage can lined up a little better. Otherwise, everything will end up beside the can. I think I'm going to, well, that's pretty well perfect. I'm going to maybe obscure what the actual thing is. I'm not going to try to hang on to the reality of the item. So that will probably go there. What do we have for the next one? Red Rock Country. I don't want to get too overblown with the whole orange thing, so we might have to include some other colors. I'm just putting these making another pile with these cutoffs. Don't have a particular, and I lifted my, let me see what you can see. I lifted my camera. Okay, I can see the scissors. I lifted my camera up a little higher than usual because the page is big. Maybe if I'm not left-handed, but maybe that would be better. Okay, so if I do it that way, I won't have to tear that. You can see some abstraction building already. This is quite beautiful. How tall is this page? So if I take a little bit off the side, it won't matter. I hope that things are okay where you are, that you, if you were in the path of Helene, that you didn't suffer any injury or property damage. I cannot imagine living under that kind of a cloud, to be honest, but we must have a bit of, I don't know, gambler, insanity, whatever the word is, to be farming, because that's not a very stable way of life either, is it? Or, okay, now that, you know what? Why don't I just go bold and do both pages? I don't normally do that because it takes that much longer, but what the heck? If I'm using these calendar pages, I'll have this covered in no time. Those are too yellow. Let me find another. Oh, yuck. But it is orange, and I did say that I would kind of take things as they come. That paper's too thick. Let me see if I can find another landscapey type thing. Ooh. Oh, but that's a calendar cover too. I could grab that sunset. There's a beachy. And there's this. These are grain elevators. These are practically dinosaurs now too. Okay, so we have, because I've introduced some lavender, oops, in there, I'd better repeat it with this. And again, just trying to cut relatively straight at this point. I'm not measuring anything as such. And I have never, okay, let's just sort of roughly keep this in place so I know when I have enough. That's starting to look very stripy, isn't it? Oh, this guy's too short. Well, I could cut around this critter, because I will have to fit, well, we'll let his whiskers go in. Don't want that grass. You can use that for patching. I'm throwing him away the minute I get the orange away from here. Whoopsie. We'll take this part too, although there's that, well, that I can leave that hole there because it might get covered up. And this guy's gonzo along with this grass. Okay. Maybe I should take some of this sky if I'm doing sort of these stripy bits. And I will move the page around as necessary to show you what's happening. Here's another sky. So needless to say, most of the time I do my groundwork before I ever turn on the camera. But not doing that today. So we will see. No, this is the started one. We will see how well this goes. And we will also see how far I get. Okay, let's just start gluing. And given that I didn't open the envelopes or peek in them since I brought them up earlier today. So clearly there's been no pre-planning done. Oh, I guess I didn't quite need to go to the end since it's going to extend past the edge of the page. I just want to lift this up so I can see where the actual page ends. I should have brought a card. Mind you, a fist works just as well, I guess. Especially when you're mad about the weather. It doesn't hurt to clench one's fist, does it? Okay, I'll have it overlap at the top because that's kind of a dark, very dark. See, this is how I end up with glue on everything, because if you want to get right to the edge, it's pretty hard not to have it go on beyond the edge. Anyway, if you like watching people glue and, you know, just create with, as Pam would say, with reckless abandon, you should check out Caroline on the Hillside. She does a lot of this kind of stuff. And I know just from some of the comments that we have shared that, well, and she says it in her videos, she just finds it very relaxing. Oh, we wanted that. Oh, this was supposed to go underneath. Now I'll have to put it this way. She finds it very relaxing, as I think do most of us. Maybe I should just take this little strip off here. Unless we are fighting the, oh, this is thicker. Unless we're fighting that evil demon, perfectionism, and I'll fall into the trap of overthinking and judging ourselves and finding ourselves in, you know, wanting. So the moral of the story is try not to do that. This is a very, excuse me, a very, it should be a pressure-free, joyful, soul-enriching type of activity. So I don't know how well this is going to actually band on this page, but again, I tried to make, when I altered this book, I tried to make it as sound as I possibly could. So I feel like I do have a few of these kinds of art journal things started. This is not wanting to bend very well since it is on the thicker side. But we're not going to let that deter us. There will be other things added on top, so, and if I had to go in with art glitter glue, I could reach for it and add it, I guess. Oh, see, this almost covers. Maybe for something different, I should put this at the end and then have just a narrow strip there. I always close the door to my room here while I'm doing this, just to, you know, as a signal, don't walk in. And to keep any extraneous noise away. That wasn't very good planning, was it, to be half an inch or so short? this is not sticking very well at the edge here. What would happen if I suddenly changed direction? Maybe that's what I'll do just to shake things up a bit. I guess it would be better. Let me just quickly sort of roughly tear this so I don't have to do all that trimming after the fact. That's barely long enough, so we'll leave that. Excuse me. I just, it's late. It's 9:30 p.m. I don't know. I slept in today. I kind of was working really hard. Didn't eat, you know, not that when you live at home and are your own boss, you don't have to eat on anybody's schedule but your own. Let hunger be the cue. No, we've said that's not wide enough. I feel like I need to take a smidge off here just so I don't have that torn or that straight edge. Anyway, so it's bad, but I just had a bite to eat a while ago, and maybe that is what is causing this thing in my throat. Oh, and if I use that, I better. Oh, my little hole is showing. Anyway, okay, we'll start at the bottom and start gluing our little hearts out. Oh dear. As I was thinking, okay, what am I doing in this? Like, I'm almost out of scheduled videos, so I figured, you know, who in her right mind starts doing videos at this hour? But I also looked ahead at my schedule and realized that I really don't have anything scheduled. I mean, if you don't call thrift haul videos that are kind of into the future, I really don't have anything much scheduled until, after Tuesday of this coming week. Oh, I forgot to say, it is Friday, October 4th, as I'm doing it. So, I thought, well, okay, push, kid, push. I figured, well, I can get one done today, and, you know, maybe I'll get up early tomorrow and do, you know, get ahead of the game a bit. Tomorrow, see, and I was thinking to myself, and please, for the love of God, don't tell the people about harvest. They're probably as sick of hearing about it as you are of talking about it. But it is the preeminent thing on our minds right now, and it is our, you know, our living, or contributes to our holding body and soul together, as it were. I think I need to do, well, I'll do this one and then worry about that mauve one. Anyway, so brace yourselves. I do have to talk farming. I'll make it quick, though. The weather has been not at all, and I won't get into that because I've talked about that in past videos about moisture, grain moisture, and what it needs, you know, how it needs to be dry in order to keep and not mold or rot or stick together or literally heat and turn to ash in a grain bin in a state of all that compressed pressure on it. Anyway, so I'll spare you all the gory details and all the excuse me, and all the variables that go into whether or not something is going to be good or not. So the decision was made yesterday that if we don't do something, this potentially would be a lost year, which is scary to think about. Like, we do have crop insurance. However, in most cases, the insurer is going to make damn sure that you have done every conceivable thing to salvage the harvest. So, you know, if that means waiting until spring and doing it then, they can, you know, they would literally demand that of the farmer. And of course, I mean, it's the whole insurance game. We know how that works. So we can't do anything about the weather. We can't do anything about the fact that, you know, the calendar, those, like in the movies, when the calendar pages are flipping by fast to show the theoretical passage of time. We can't do anything about the fact that it's now October. The only thing we could do is pay $75,000. That's 75000 to buy a new grain dryer. So tomorrow, that thing will be delivered for $500 extra. And the 1,000-gallon propane tank that we already owned, of course, is old and hasn't been recertified, blah, blah, blah. So there was a few $100s worth of well, I don't know how many, but, you know, just typical. You need all the new stuff to get it recertified and so on, to make sure, number one, that you don't have an explosion or a fire. So that will cost money, and I have no idea, none whatsoever, as to what it will cost to fill that thing with propane. However, that now, oh, I see air bubbles here, that now, sometimes when you can't get air bubbles out and you can get away with it, I just poke a hole in the paper. Anyway, you probably can't see them, but I can based on how the light is hitting it. Okay, we have our first layer, and it is a thing of beauty. Now what? Maybe it's time to pull out some paint. Because, you know, if you look at East Indian clothing, you know how often, excuse me, pink and purple, I mean pink and orange are put together, and how, at least to my eye, how glorious that looks together. I want nice things for my fixed up home. Oh, look at this poster. I salvaged this from when we had our flower shop. Oh, I guess I cut off the calendar part and kept all the roses. I forgot about this. I'm not going to use this, but I do have to cut these up and turn them into inchies, or whatever shape, whatever size they are. Oh, look at this rosy little border here. That would be great for some page edging. Again, we know you want nice things for your fixed up home. Okay, bees. I was real, oh, coneflowers. Okay, those might be kind of nice if they were fussy cut. This is not You know what? I'm going to take these pages, sort of keep them on my lap, and that way you'll have a better idea of how things look if they're put against the page. So if those were, but boy, you don't want to wait while I fussy cut. Hey, Dan Lost Valentine's. Look at that hot pink box. Look at all those jewels. Here is a big cone flower. That could be cut out as a focal point. I don't know why that's kind of, but look at that. What do you call that thing? Oh, and look at this. Oh, you know what? I must have been using this as a reference photo for a painting that I did, because I broke it up into quadrants. Which reminds me, yes, I do remember that painting. It was like the only thing that I ever found that was purple. Okay, what's this? Join the aquarium family. That's kind of interesting. Huh. These things are slippery and they want to fall. Oh, that's the yellow one. Oh, look at this. I guess you still can't see anything because I just keep piling it up. Now let's put all these cone flowers over to the side. We know that that could work. Well, not if there are words on it, probably. I'll put that over there. Okay, so this is interesting. That Eiffel Tower could also be a focal point, because on something this big, a page that big, you kind of need something that stands tall and proud. Okay, so those two things are in the running for that. So we'll put them off to this side for the time being. Okay, so let's see what else we have. Oh, I already showed you that. Now if I take them off the bottom, maybe it's a little easier for me to hang on to. So we've seen all that. This is from a quilt calendar. Those could make cute inchies too, but I don't think that's what I want. Nope. Nope. Those are really nice, but nope. 1966. 1996. Those little clusters of color maybe have a possibility. That's not big enough. Oh my God. This little piggy went to Calgary. This little piggy went to Edmonton. This little piggy went to Fort McMurray. This little piggy went to Grand Prairie. This little piggy didn't fly WestJet and spent the summer in a smelly old shoe. Ay, ay, ay. Well, it's pink. Oh, that is beautiful. I'm going to put that with as a possible focal point. It almost feels like, and I also need, those don't look peony flower or leaves, but that definitely, I should have that with my peony stuff. See how it's a, like Christmas? Things are fluttering to the ground here. Well, that's cool. Turn your old roadster into a into a flower. These guys are all, I'll put these teeny weeny ones off to the side. Fuchsia. Oh, that's bigger. Huh. Oops. Tulips. This really isn't the... Okay. Pink flamingo. See, if I was trying to step outside my comfort zone, I'd be inserting that flamingo. Oh, those roses are nice. In there, just to say I can. Yoy, these guys are small. You tell I had a lot of floral magazines. Oh, that purple. That's kind of cool. That's nice. Another coneflower. It's a kind of a parfait thing. Gerbers. Whoa, that's intense. Vancouver Aquarium. And then this, we got another piece of that somewhere. How about a gas problem? And of course, a person could also be looking for... Okay, I think we'll just set this stuff aside temporarily and lay down some blocks of color. Now what would happen if I... Oh, this rose thing here. This came off probably that calendar I showed you, that wall calendar. It's kind of unwieldy here. It's got a mind of its own, man. Okay, if we... That isn't quite the pink I wanted. Like, typically that would be kind of what you want. Let's start ripping some strips here. Where's my ruler? No plan whatsoever. So at this point, I would also start changing up the shape of and size of the shapes. Since the first part, so get close, that could even be visible if it was visible, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. It's like that garbage can keeps moving. Sorry guys, this is, I always try to protect you from having to watch inking or fussy cutting, but somehow tearing paper is just as bad. I just hope that maybe some of the things I'm saying about my thought process and why I do what I do makes up for the tedium of watching this. You gotta clear that guy's stomach. Now we can leave the words because, I don't know, probably not enough left there to use. we can cover up the words that we don't want. Okay. So it would, at this point, where did I put those things? Oh, I can also use this. This is so beautiful. I guess I could, you know, there's that white in that those, mind you, I don't know. I might have to remove that white in a bit. At this point, I guess it's okay. Now where, right here. I was going to say, where did I put those potential focal points? Because at some point, and you know, whether you guys are here or not, I would, at this point, begin to, you know, you kind of need to know what your intentions are with your focal point. And of course, wherever there's something untoward, like these letters that go across the tower. Yo, I'm not doing a stellar job of cutting because I'm trying to be fast. Yoy, I veered over. At this rate, we need to introduce some white because I've got these white bits around this crummy job I'm doing of fussy cutting. Can you believe that? There was a moment of silence there. I know I don't like watching videos where the hostess has forgotten that we're all there and just goes silent, like maybe the audience is psychic or something and they know instinctively what's happening or what thought process a person is using. I don't like that, so I typically try not to let that happen on my channel. So, oh, I know, I can tell you a story. I think I've told other stories that show how I just, you know, randomly start talking to strangers. So I need my little, sorry, I need to reach for my little Fiskars thingamajig to cut that little bit out. Anyway, now the other day I was in Edmonton killing time until my physio appointment for my left shoulder. And so I went to Marshall's. There's a Marshall's in that mall. And, you know, just looking around, because of course they always have a variety of things to keep one amused. Anyway, I was just pushing my little cart around, and I see, well, I hear, and then I see, you know, this noise. And at first I couldn't tell if it was laughing or crying or what the heck was going on. And I look, and it is a, you know, kind of a middle-aged couple. I'd say they're in their 40s. And they're crouched down on the floor by, you know, some clothing racks. And they're laughing themselves senseless. And even when I looked, it took me a second to figure out are they crying or are they laughing? They were laughing so hard they were practically in tears. And I didn't think anything of it, went about my business. And so I then end up, without any pre-planning, maybe what I'll do here is tear, because, I'm not totally insane. I wouldn't try to fussy cut around there. So I'll just tear around these floral shapes. Anyway, I end up behind them in the checkout line. So I say to them, and of course, I'm a stranger. We don't know anything about it. See, and with this white background, yeah, that reinforces the white elements I was thinking about possibly using. I could save the word earth. I say, so did you two pull yourselves together already? And I probably said it just like that. Smiling and with a laugh in my voice. And they start laughing all over again. And I said, can you share what's so funny? Which sort of sounds kind of school marmish. She looks at him and sort of asking permission. And he's, nods, it's okay. Anyway, it turns out that these guys are going to a Halloween shindig at a pub. And the theme of the night in that place is a Golden Girls tribute, which automatically kind of makes you you kind of feel kind of fun, like it's going to be fun anyway, because who didn't love that show? Anyway, so of course they're going to go, and he is going to be Dorothy. So she was, B. Arthur. So she was the tall one. And the wife is going to be Sophia, who was Dorothy's mother. And so automatically I start laughing because you can just conjure this up. Anyway, so they were looking for something for Dorothy to wear. And, he's holding a couple of hangers. So he's got this kind of flowy top. And then a longer one of those, no button, no closure, sort of just, sort of a sweater coat kind of thing, almost, longer. There's probably a word to describe that style. I just don't know what it is. Anyway, I say, because hey, we're buds by now. I say, shouldn't you be shopping at a thrift store for that? And they kind of exchange a look, one of those told you so looks, except I couldn't figure out who was the one that, because they both looked like they were trying to make the point with the other one, but yet that can't be. Otherwise, why would they be at Marshall's? So I don't know what the deal was there. But she says that she got her Sophia dress at a thrift store. And I thought, well, okay, that's good. I said, I can't believe how much some people spend on Halloween. And she says, I know. I says, like, some people maybe in this store or even in this checkout line. And she said, yeah, I know. Anyway, I said, so what are you doing about the purse and the glasses and a wig? She says, I ordered all that. It's coming. And she said, I had to order the glasses, And if you remember Sophia's glasses, they had those gigantic lenses. And she says, and sort of that drop down arm on the side pieces. I'm touching my own glasses like you can see my glasses, which don't have that, of course. But I was also going to cut out the coneflower in case we wanted that, and the flamingo. Anyway, she says, yes, I ordered that. And she was getting those glasses. And I said, those things always remind me of grasshoppers. It's like those oversized eyes. Anyway, so, and we're just laughing at the possibility of this. And she says, yeah, you know, it's the theme for the night. And, and I said, I'd never asked about shoes, though, I have to say. And we know, or at least I can never picture a scene in that show where Sophia didn't have her little old handbag over her forearm, you know, because she went everywhere with it. Oh, and I think, didn't she also have her glasses on a chain? You know, so she could dangle them around her neck. Anyway, so then I turn back to the man and I say, so, like, what are you doing about your face? You know, if Dorothy had a mustache, it certainly wasn't as dark as yours. So, of course, we start hooting again because that's a damn funny line. And this guy had a mustache, and he was a brunette, like maybe with some gray, but his hair was, you know, dark. So, of course, so was his mustache. So he's got this mustache, and he has rather a short, you know how men these days, it wasn't, I wouldn't really call it a beard, but yet it was sort of beard-like. You know, he had a fair bit of facial hair. So she bursts out laughing, and she says, I got him to wear women's clothing. I'm not going to make him shave. So anyway, I said, and it was just about time for us to be parting there. I said, so are there prizes for this thing? He says, I sure hope so. And with that, you know, they went their way and I went mine. But I just thought that was so hilarious. And how much fun. Maybe I should save these little coneflowers here. I should be tearing it away from me. How much fun they seem to be having doing this together. So they're having this fun shopping, which, you know, obviously they're doing together. And, you know, then there'll have to be some makeup and, of course, going out that night. So I have to say I've never really, I didn't like Halloween. I mean, as a kid, obviously, okay, look, we have this. Now, we can throw the whole proportions out the window here. We can say to ourselves, of course a coneflower can be bigger than an Eiffel Tower. Isn't it? Shouldn't it? Okay, so now we might have an idea of how this could go. And again, if I'm doing a 2-page thing, we need to make sure that both sides are somewhat integrated. So maybe since we have quite a bit of this pinkish stuff here, maybe I should try to position some of these pieces. Oh, we've got earth. I also have this if I need a splash of color somewhere. And actually, that was the pink envelope. I, of course, have a purple envelope that I'm just poking into. What is this? This is heavy. Heavy duty. Oh, this must have been when I was taking some courses at Grant McEwen. The online calendar from 2006, 2007. Wow. I only took courses there because their brochure was purple. Yeah, anyway, I enjoyed that little interaction with those people so much. Then I'm out in the mall. Again, I don't know if this was before or after my appointment, but I'm sitting on a bench momentarily. And, oh, look at the gradation from purple to pink to orange. We might have to use that too. Okay, we're getting maybe a little carried away. Anyway, so I'm sitting there, and this, and I don't say this with anything other than, like, there's a point to why I'm saying this, I guess. This is more blue than we want. Anyway, so I'm sitting there. I just realized that I say anyway a lot. Anyway, I am sitting there on this bench, and this is an extended immigrant family. The women are wearing headscarves. The man has that longer, smock kind of thing over his pants. Anyway, I see this little kid, and I smile at her. And the grandmother, who's also part of this grouping, sees, and she must have whispered in that kid's ear to blow me a kiss. So the little kid does. And I promptly return it with a kiss of my own. And then the baby, who is in grandma's arms, is not to be outdone. That little kid starts waving bye-bye. And you know how cute those little waves are. So, of course, I have to start waving then, too. And I just thought, isn't that what it's all about? Seeing each other, seeing the humanity of each other. That's not the greatest. I think I might have to, if this is a focal point, I have to kind of do a little fancy, dancy stuff here to get rid of those letters. And why did I leave this like this? Oh, I know, that was, I better make this a little more jagged too. Anyway, my point is we're all the same. We all have the same emotions, the same human experience. We can look beyond color, ethnicity, belief systems, and we can just be people seeing people. Then, okay, that was one day. Then the next day, I just on a whim, no, not on a whim, I made an appointment because I needed an orthotics fitting. So the guy that does it is a chiropractor. And he has that electronic thing where you stand on that footbed and computerized, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I've gotten my orthotics there for the last 3 years or so. And they're good. So, if it ain't broke, why fix it? So I make an appointment to go in there, and the receptionist says, well, do you want an adjustment as well? And I figured, well, yeah, who doesn't need an adjustment? Yeah, sign me up kind of thing. So a few, and this guy is, dare I say, he's pretty old. He's my age. Yeah, he's pretty old. Anyway, there I go again. Anyway, he does the treatment, and then we go to his office because that's where the computer and this other thing is. And I say to him, I said, and I didn't get into the whys and the wherefores, but I said, a nurse practitioner, was trying to explain why I might be experiencing a certain thing. And she said that, and then again, some people just have loose connective tissue. And I says, what do you think about that? And he says, well, yeah, we're about the same age. He says, how everything just sort of all of a sudden, stuff just starts falling apart and whatever. I don't know if I made that look better or worse. Giving it a little haircut and making all these crumbs here on the page. I guess it looks more genuine than it would have otherwise. Anyway, so he's wearing scrubs. So as he's saying this, he lifts up the sleeve of his scrub and he flexes. So in other words, he's going to pump up that bicep of his. He says, when I was young, I used to have muscles. He says, now I'm the guy that they kick sand at the beach. Oh my God. So I burst out laughing. because, of course, it conjures up pictures of those, and I don't know which publications or whatever, but it conjures up, I have to get rid of these crumbs, pictures of those back of the magazine ads. I don't know if that was the 50s or the 60s or the 40s or whatever decade that was, or maybe it went on longer than that. We're at the back of certain magazines, or maybe it was comic books, I don't know. You could buy bodybuilding stuff. You could build up, you wouldn't be the guy getting sand kicked in your face. So I just thought that was hilarious. So I guess the reason I'm telling you all this is because, other than that chiropractor, I really didn't know any of these people. But yet I had some very pleasant interactions with these strangers. And it just reminds me, I don't have much of this to go around. It just reminds me yet again that we get to choose how we navigate through life. We can be miserable. We can be scowling and swearing. We can be the kind that, people are likely to sort of want to cross the street to avoid. Or we can be the kind of people that are a joy to encounter. I might have to make this particular piece smaller so that I get, so I can stretch this out a bit more. So far, I've only used one of these. I might have to change the shape of that. And, I understand that a lot of what goes on here will be covered up, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to try to salvage some of the, I could have this petal cover those words. Where's my fold? Right there. And this is still pretty, okay, no, I didn't trim that. I should at least fold it back so I'm not doing my layout beyond where I need to. Because sometimes a 1/4 inch can make a difference. Okay, this is kind of, I think, starting to shape up. This can cover up part of that word. And then it looks, oh my goodness, look, that came over that. Now, if that's not at the edge of the page, I'd better shape this petal a bit more. I can move this Eiffel Tower up if I need to. I wonder, I hope you guys can see most of this. We've got to cover up the gas part over there. But this, even though I have a lot of it, relatively speaking, I don't know that it's, well, mind you, it matches that, I guess. I was going to say, it's like introducing a foreign element here. I could get rid of those words too somehow. Okay, not so bad. This and this goes beautifully together, as does this fiery. Is that an actual fire? Is that, I guess it is an actual fire. Sorry, it's just me tearing these edges so they're not quite so. And I do I think probably within reach even. And I didn't even really look through the purple pouch. Too bad this paper is so darn heavy. It's almost like cardstock. This becomes a very thick thing because when I altered the book, I glued at least 2 pages together. So 2 plus this layer, starting to get a bit, I could have used my tear ruler, I guess. Mind you, at this point, the shapes are becoming a little more organic. Oh, I know, I should give you guys a question. I can't remember the right terminology, but you know when comedians, I don't know, is it called bookending or is it rounding back? Or, oh, and I do have this. Maybe that's too pastel-y. If you don't mind, in the comments, please tell me if you were dressing up, if you were going out for Halloween, which golden girl would you be? So remember, there was Dorothy, who was the, Dorothy. Sophia, I think her storyline was that she had had a stroke or something, and that's why she would blurt out whatever was on her mind, because she had lost some of the inhibitions. Blanche was the loose one. She was man crazy. And what the heck was Betty White's character? Blanche, Sophia, Dorothy, and Rose? Well, Rose wasn't exactly the brightest bulb on the tree, let's just say that. But, she had an innocence and a naivete to her. And together, they were absolutely lovable. I think Dorothy could probably, she was a bit of a stickler, maybe a bit of a, she was probably the most serious of the bunch, bit of a party pooper perhaps. Okay, I'm starting to like this a bit more. I have one last piece, so I might as well use it. We're not going to save it for another day. And I guess if I wanted some more lighter weight purple, I could use some of that as well. I do have to cover those words up because I don't want them. I do have a baby coneflower here I could use. And those guys are really small. I won't bother with them. Oh, and I have these as well. Those are kind of a good size. We will see how this goes in a second. First, I'll finish what I'm doing. Finish tearing around this. Then I know that I've placed all of these elements. And that's kind of typically how I work, because I do want that continuity, that flow, that connection. Now, it bothers me that this guy has straight edges, so I'll probably end up I'll just use a tear ruler on that, though, probably. Do we have to put this here, maybe, too? That pretty well obliterates all the orange in that corner. Remove this for the time being. I will quickly, and I'm going to cut the stem off. You can reshape things that don't suit you. Like I'm forever cutting the antennae off butterflies and other insects. If it really, and sometimes I think of it, most of the time I don't, you can always, excuse me, with a Sharpie, draw them in. You just need two skinny little lines, and, you know, then the viewer's eyes fills in the rest. But when I forget, it doesn't matter to me either. It's not keeping me awake nights, let's just put it that way. Anyway, so yeah, are you the naive innocent like Rose? You know, the one who always has to have the jokes explained to you and misses the double entendres. Are you Blanche, the person who's likely to make a double entendre? Are you Sophia, who just speaks your mind and throws caution to the wind because you're the oldest and you can get away with it? Or are you Dorothy, who is a little hard done by, perhaps? She's trying to, you know, deal with her mother and keep the household kind of working as it should. I haven't checked the time. Probably too scary to know. Little notch there. Okay, so I have that too. That could be. That might be very beautiful there. I wish this was a little sharper an image and not so kind of blurry. Okay. Maybe if I did this way. So with this, and of course it's not the first time you've heard, I just have to take a little hair off. Not the first time you've heard me say it or encountered it yourself, that you have to pay attention to the layers you're creating and obviously glue things down in the right order and hopefully not, boy, that was straight, hopefully not, you know, bugger up your positioning too much. Because, of course, the minute we lift something, it moves a micro measurement. Okay. So, maybe let's take this one side at a time. Now I had this pink and white bleeding off the edge of the page and going under. Now I should figure out where I'm putting this because I don't really want to lose 1.5 inches of it if I don't have to. If I put this here, part of it is going to go onto that page. Oy. Maybe I should start somewhere I know for sure. Like down here. Where's my glue book? Okay, who took the glue book? I found it. Don't send out a search party. Oops, wrong glue stick. Just got some on my hand. Okay, if you can't see this, I'll give you a hint. I'm putting glue on paper. Okay, I'm basically letting this go all the way to the corner of the page, and like so. This is sticky, so use this side. Okay. Now, this, you know, I can fill in, so I'm just kind of pick a spot. Oh, I must have had this here somewhere. See what I mean? See what I mean? Or did I have that underneath? I think I will. Again, I have a straight edge. And I'll do this side too, and that way I can put the words where I need them to be instead of... Okay. So I'm just going to pick that spot. I'm going to have that there to cover it up. So purple piece goes down next. And you know, at some point, you just have to start gluing. Because honestly, this is not going to alter the course of life on the planet. It is playtime. Now, I think I wanted this about there, and then this little thing here will be an intersection. We'll cover the intersection. So that means that this pinkish guy needs to go down next. But again, I'll just leave it. Because sure as heck, if I decide to take an inch or an inch and a half off, then it'll be too short. Oh, nothing like having a glue book and then getting glue all over. Oh, this has a wave in it. Must be those, oh, I had it this way. Must be those gas bubbles that are making the paper lift. Now, how can I do that? I need a wipe, I need a wipe. Okay. So I can use this, I guess, to press this down. And if I got any other glue slopped on there. Okay, so this is going next, and it's covering the words. Get rid of this. Use this. Yes, so I'll be interested to see how you guys see yourselves as Golden Girls. And of course, there are no, whoopsie, right or wrong answer. Whoops, kind of really got a little off kilter here. Okay, now I better figure out what's happening with this. I'm going to drag this over a bit so I can kind of see what's happening on this page. So we know that the Eiffel Tower was going to be over here. We know that this was going to be somewhere here. Now I was using, no. Okay, this was the corner piece. I think I was using this because I had it. That's not how I had it, I'm sure. Probably more so like that. This was somewhere here. You guys are probably trying to, with mental telepathy, tell me what I'm supposed to be doing. No, this was going to be here, and it was going to be tucked. I was going to cover those little things that don't belong there. Something is going wrong in this corner. Maybe I don't need that pink thing there. Something has gone askew here. Or was I cut? Maybe I had this vertically. Is that what I had? Does anyone know? It helps the tower pop off the page a bit. Okay, I think, number one, get a more ragged edge on here. I think everything else will be covered one way or the other. Or was I planning? Maybe that's what I wanted to do there. That seems to be better, I would say. Now this was going to, but how close? So I've got to pull this down. Well, no, I don't have quite enough, so I'm going to tear that edge off the bottom. So no matter where I put it, it's going to look like, oh yeah, she had a plan there. Uh-oh, did that? I thought that stuck down there for a minute. Okay, so we know that I can glue that one down. Probably glue on the front of it. Maybe not. There's hope. Hope springs eternal. Okay, now that is going to, oh, I said I was doing this. Now, do I want the white line showing? I would say I need the white line showing. Oh, I need to cover that up too. Because there's so much white there. And I'm going to bring this down so it covers this little intersection here and leads into those colors. In case you are wondering. Oh, I do have this little bit of purple too. Okay, I said I was covering up those words. Oh, I wasn't going down that far. See how I just smeared glue there? Okay. Now let's get this thing down. Now if I have that way over there, you know what I could do? Oh, how did I glue that so crooked? I'll have to trim that. Here it's overlapping, here it's short. What the heck is going on here? Is it too late? Oh, probably. Anyway, I'll have to trim that. I'm just going to... I'm going to reach for my art glitter glue. Isn't that great now that I've moved my cart way over there? Okay, we know, I know that I want to cover up these things. How was I doing that? Oh, I guess I angled the flower. And I wanted that to be over it. So, whoops. But how much? That is the question. It's like this thing has a motor or something. It just keeps moving by itself. Or every time I touch it, it keeps moving. So I'm just putting a bit of glue here to secure that. And then, oh my goodness, hardly anything here. Oh, thought I had a better overlap than that, and of course it's too late. That barely touches, never mind. And why did this get so wavy? Because the paper is so darn thin? Let's get this out of the way here. Okay, so this is now going to move as a unit. Save some of my sanity for another day. There's this white printing here. I'm not going to worry about that. Let's see what's happening with this corner. That will probably be fine there if I could define the edge here. Sorry, guys. Since I went so askew, I'm just trying to reaffirm where the edge of the page is, since I've gone crooked with the gluing. And of course, this is not working very well. It's kind of the wrong positioning for my hand. Oh, I told you the chiropractor and the bicep story, but I forgot to tell you kind of what his theory is. So, I've been going for physio because of pain and, well, pain is always the big thing, and difficulty with some range of motion. Yeah, I have to be pretty accurate here because having this off is not what I want. So I should probably grab a pencil and be sure. So I want this to fit snug to the corner, top and bottom, which means if I want that little point to touch this, then this has to be in the right place because this is going to be immovable. Why don't I just glue this corner down at least so I stop having so many moving parts here. I might need to trim after the fact. Okay, so that thing is not going anywhere. So let's just say, don't need a pencil now. Anyway, I tell him that I've been going for physio because I'm having difficulty with this lateral movement. So if I'm having to put my arm out to the side like that. And I mean, it's like deja vu all over again, because of course, in 2008, I had a torn rotator cuff and shoulder surgery after a few years of suffering. I got a referral to a orthopedic surgeon, and wait lists. That's gonna be okay there, I guess. Anyway, so I get the referral, and at some point, and you kind of psychologically you reconcile yourself to the fact that it's going to take some time. So for the first year or so, you don't really get, you kind of think, well, they warned you it's going to take a while, so what don't you understand? I think I might just peel this up and re-glue it. Anyway, at some point, like maybe a year, 2 years, whatever, however, I don't even remember anymore. I say to my doctor, can you please follow up on this? Like, why is this taking so long? I've never had any contact with their office whatsoever. Well, it turns out that somewhere along the way, the referral was lost. So they had no record that I was even supposed to be coming at some point. So it had taken ages to get sent for the MRI, which I don't want to scare you, but I hated it. I think I might have told that story before. Of course, because it was a shoulder, which is in the upper part of the body, I had to go in head first. And I was such a trooper lying there on that little bed thing. And they said, oh, it's really best if you keep your eyes closed through all this. And what kind of music would you like to listen to while you're in there? Because, of course, there's that hammering sound. And I must have picked whatever I picked. And, of course, the minute the damn thing starts moving, I open my eyes and I realize that, oh, my nose is about this far from the top of this tube. So that wasn't good. However, I wasn't, it's one of those things where you kind of have to gather your courage and your resolve and talk yourself through something, because I figured yes, I could have made them stop, but where would that have gotten me? So you just survive because you have to. I think this glue stick is toast. So anyway, we do the MRI. He must have gotten the results. I get called in, and he gets me to do some range of motion things in his office, looks at the MRI results, and he says, well, you need surgery. And I could have collapsed, because I thought, all this time I've waited, it just seemed like, oh, really? Like, I don't know, it just kind of struck me. Let's not lose the Eiffel Tower here. Oh, and we were going to, doesn't this feel wrong somehow? Or was this going to save it? This little guy here. That was maybe going to save the day. A little overlap there. I think that would be good. Okay, let's figure out what to do with this. And maybe I will someday finish this piece. I think we kind of thought that oh, I know, this petal was supposed to cover that blue lettering, wasn't it? That kind of puts, mind you, I could have more of this flower going that way, and then it doesn't seem like, oh, everything is on the right side. Why do we even have the left side at all? Whoopsie. Okay, let's see what happens if I do this. Feels like it should go this way because that's going that way. So that was a miserable process. So I said, okay, now you've told me this. How many more years do I wait for the surgery? Oh, no, we're going to get you in fast. Now, yeah, that never should have happened, blah, blah, blah. I don't remember what the timing was now because that's a long time ago. But he did warn me that it wasn't going to be fun, that the recovery period is, well, 6 months and more like a year before you're actually fully recovered. I might want to glue that to that in a second just to, again, keep it together. This, I don't know about this. I could put that there, I suppose, but that would be a last minute decision. I do also have this with white, and I don't even need to use that if I don't need to use that. Okay, I think I need to start a new glue stick and glue these two pieces together. Again, just to minimize some of the moving parts here. Anyway, he said, oh, you're probably going to sleep in a recliner for the first several weeks. You know, of course, as always, there's the pre-op appointment where they tell you, you know, they do all those additional tests to see your state of your health, any considerations that there might be during surgery, and also to prep you for what post-op is going to be like. So and of course, I'm right-handed, so, and it was going to be my right shoulder, so that made things doubly interesting. You know, it seems almost like I'm trying too hard to make this RB go under that pedal. That's not the ideal positioning for the Eiffel Tower. So, what would happen if I did that? No. I think that I should glue this down so this is stable, and then worry about covering that up if I need to, or when I need to. However, I did say that I might have to use or maybe do I want that there? Or do I want to forget those little white words are there? Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm just going to make sure that that part of the line is covered. That's how I know where I want to put it. And let's get a clean page here, because this is going to... Maybe I'll do this in parts so that I don't have too much of a gluey surface all at once. Anyway, they did the luck of a draw. Oh, I also saw some kind of a woman at the university who was doing a study of some sort on the recovery period. So, like in a research project, of course, you've got a thesis that you're trying to prove. And did I agree to be part of the study? And I said, yeah. And she said, well, it's going to be the luck of the draw. Neither you nor your doctor or no, I guess the doctor would, she says, no one will know until the point of the operation. Then there will be, I don't know if she was going to be there, and there would be a draw, they would draw, I guess, my name or whatever, draw something out of a hat that would determine if I was going to be in the control group or in the other group. And it had to do with, I think, oh, that'll be fine. It had to do with whether or not the patient would have to wear the sling for 6 weeks after surgery. And that means, like, well, I guess, would that have been at night too? I don't remember that part. Anyway, when the draw was, when they did the determination there, in a double-blind kind of way, I was not part of that group that was trying the new treatment. I had to do the old way, which was the 6 weeks with the sling. I'll put that guy down as a finale. So I think I've said this before. It's a little bit like childbirth. Luckily, some of the worst of it, the memories have faded, and it's just like the pain of childbirth. Eventually you forget, and you have that second kid. Well, finally, to the point of my story, this chiropractor gets me to do a couple of range of motion things. He's feeling around, shoulder area, and he says, well, you've got a tear. And I'm thinking, well, the the physiotherapist doesn't think I have a tear. And he says, you want to know? You want to find out fast? And I said, well, how? Because I know that the wait for an MRI is forever, unless you pay for it. And he says, we're having very good results with ultrasound. And I said, well, yes, I would like to know. So he gave me a requisition for an ultrasound, and I was able to get an appointment. Well, I could have gotten it sooner, but I'm still hoping to be able to go to Canmore. So I took so I'm getting it done at the end of October, and then I will know. But, I am not at all thrilled with the prospect of another tear, another surgery. I'm just contemplating all of this. I think somewhere along the way I lost my way. I don't know if it's this disconnect here. That helps when this touches. I could even probably squish it under there. Okay, let's do that. So it's going to be about 3/4 of an inch from that purple thing. Yeah, so I don't know. I did some Googling this afternoon while I was eating, and I thought, there were a lot of questions that, or search, you know what I mean. Because when I Google something, I just type my question, specific as possible, into the search box. And then, of course, you get all the results, and you get all of the sort of related, the questions that other people have asked. See how that glue just oozed out of there? So, I don't know, but there were questions about, can you heal a torn rotator cuff naturally? quickest way? What do you do? Do you rest? Do you exercise? Do you stretch? Do you this? Do you that? And from what I could see, when I consult Dr. Google, from what I could see, torn rotator cuffs do not heal themselves. So if there is a tear, and if it is severe enough that there's pain or loss of range of motion and stuff like that, then surgery is the only thing that works. They did say, though, that some people can, if they can get the pain under control, and it might not be a full tear or whatever, and they can do, you know, strengthening exercises through physio. I feel like I need to use some of this purple somewhere. Then, you know, some people don't get surgery. So I don't want to prejudge this, but honestly, it does feel like the last time. So I'm not thrilled about that prospect. Apparently, I loved that doctor. Now is that 16 years ago? Holy cow. You know, he's 16 years older. I don't know if he's even still practicing or still alive, but I do know that apparently nurses are quite prone to torn rotator cuffs because of the, you know, moving patients and the rigors of the job. So I guess a lot of nurses end up with needing rotator cuff surgery. And of course, people love him. And he's right there, and they're right there. So I think I need to, sorry guys, I need to trim this top where I went over the edge so I know what the heck I'm doing here. And it's not uncommon for people to need both shoulders done. So, and legend has it that the reason he went into orthopedic medicine is because he needed rotator cuff surgery, and whoever did it botched it. I never like to hear stories like that. So then that sort of became his specialty. So, I don't know. And then, of course, there's a lot of physio required after a surgery like that because that joint has been immobilized for so long. Okay, that should help. I cleaned up the edge quite a bit. Yeah, so you don't have any idea. I don't know, could I be a one-armed YouTuber? I guess we'll see. I just know that when it was my right arm that was out of commission, you realize very soon how many jobs need two hands. Okay, I cannot layer anything under there because I glued it down. So let's see what happens if I put some stuff over. Oh, so why am I trying to lift it? Wishful thinking, I guess. You know, in the pre-op they said, well, then you can't open a jar. You can't even work a can opener. You know, and of course, does anyone talk about the whole dressing yourself? You can't pull your socks on with one hand. I guess you can zip up your pants with one hand. It's no fun in the bathroom, let me tell you. You better be ambidextrous when it comes to the old paperwork after the job is done. So, yeah, not fun. And of course, that's when it becomes important and they really start caring about, do you have like a responsible person? Or like, do you live alone, or do you have someone who can help with some of these things? You can't hook up your bra. Just think about it, ladies. So the worst thing would be, could I be a one-handed crafter? I'd have to turn into a pterodactyl if I'm in a sling over here with my I don't know. We'll cross that bridge if and when we come to it. How about that? I think the purple, because you know my battle cry. You need elements that will allow your eye to travel through the picture plane. Now I had those, what did I do with the, oh, I guess it's this. I've been touching it. I could use this. Now it becomes, because it is a rectangle, so this has been fuzzy cut, this has been fuzzy cut, this has been fuzzy cut. This becomes like, because it's different. Oh, look, I can stick something under there. That green just jumps out at me. Try to avoid using that. Okay. If I kind of put that there, I can bridge the gap here a bit. Oh, that might be nice with the purple showing through there. Move that over. Yeah, let's do it. I think that it's probably going to be one of those things where I'll get it to a certain point and then I will need to look at it over a few days. Maybe add some mark making. Oh, it would have been nice if I'd have made a note of where I need this to be. I thought I had just a little smidge of that orange showing there. I hope that's right. That sound that you hear is my brain whirring away. I do have these two pieces if I need them, but I think I need to cover up some of that. Okay, I said I can get under there, so that's a good thing. It would be good if a person didn't have to, though, hey? That doesn't cover up very much of... Oh, look, I can get under that little floral thing, too, to some degree. This is not really how you want to do it. If you've ever seen Joey DeFee, now this is the wrong tool to be using, so don't ever do that at home. If you've ever watched Joey DeFee, and come to think of it, I haven't seen a video of hers forever and a day. I hope she's okay. Then you know that she does her collages quite different. Of course, once I get it under there, I realize that. In that, okay, if she was gluing this piece down, she would put her glue in the middle and she would leave the other edges unglued. And that way she wouldn't have these little prying up issues that I'm having right now, because this would only be holding down in the middle. This would be holding down somewhere up here. And then, of course, when you're happy with your arrangement, then you finish gluing down the rest. Okay, let's get on with this. I'm getting annoyed here, so I can only imagine that only the most faithful and beloved viewers are still hanging in there. And I have to say, I haven't said thank you for a while. It's just, you guys truly do mean the world to me. And of course, my little attempt at doing some shout outs was kind of short-lived. Or, well, new subscriber, I guess, shout outs or whatever. See, I tore that. That's a good point of intersection, I would say. Okay, let's get this down here. Now, I wonder, I probably need to get under there now with this. Do a little repair there. Oh, and under here. Yowzer, did I even put glue on there? Okay, let's press this down. That's lifting there too. We will worry about that another day. I wish I had more of these guys to cut out. This is almost like newsprint, though. It's pretty matte compared to everything else that on this page. Oops. I have to be pretty delicate with some of this stuff. Okay, just forgive me for a moment while I lift this up so I can... I don't even know why I'm using that. I'm afraid to tell you that this is not very close to completion. Now I could maybe I'm going to have to put my money where my mouth is. Glue this, again I can see little air bubbles. Glue this Eiffel Tower down. See, this is such an unfortunate line up here. So I need to break that up with something. So I don't know if that... Too bad I have ink marks on this, unless I cut this into 6 pieces. That might be the answer. Or what happens if I put this under here? I cover up some of those lines. You know what I could do? And I still have 2 of these. Let's not forget that. But I don't know that that's the answer. Okay. In a case like this, what I could do is, like, to not lose the whole effect here, cut those pieces out and then just put the barest little bit of space in between them, essentially like a mosaic, so there'd just sort of be the grout line in between. So it still would make a bit of an impact, because it would be... Now, can she put these 6 pieces together? That's the big question. Now that... that's not right. So if I... Oh, look at this. Can you even see anything that I'm showing you? Let's maybe slide this over a smidge. Otherwise, I'm running into that purple thing over there. And then... So that helps break that whole thing up there. Having the little pinky part sort of makes it a pink grout line. And then here, I guess it doesn't. We're not as concerned. But is that the right spot? Or does that take away from the Eiffel Tower? If I find another piece of purple, I won't have my little problem here that I haven't even told you about. That has been kind of annoying me. But I'm so good at hiding my feelings from you. Not at all. I said I didn't want this to be split like that. But yet when I cover it up, I end up with this, which I don't like. So what happens? Oh, that's a different purple, of course. Honestly, the woman is insane. And trust me, you don't have to do this. I'm standing up. Oh, my poor arm. This bag of envelopes fell over. Oh my God. I just took a look at the clock. Unbelievable. I think that helps too. Now with this, it does go with those flowers. Okay guys, this is unbelievable. I have never done a video this long. I have to stop. I have to release you from your bonds. I will continue to work at this because now it's like, it's getting personal. And we'll let you know how this turns out. I will show it to you. And of course, did we touch the chalk? Did we touch the markers? No. Anyway, it is twice as big as normal though. Thank you so, if you are still here, and I can't believe that you're still here, but if you are still here, thank you for being here. I gotta end this. Okay, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.